Hello everyone, it's Darek here from Caliathletics, and today I'm with my friend Mattia Sampaoli, straight from Italy. Mattia is working in Caliathletics for around 2 years, and he is an author of a few programs and also a lot of really useful articles, so make sure to check it out. And today we decided to record a video for you.
Yeah, it's a video that is going to be very interesting. We are going to cover the top 5 mistakes while doing handstand. So we are going to check each one of them and try to explain how do they happen and how to fix them.
So guys, let's get it started.
Let's go.
Okay guys, so right now we're going to start with the most typical mistake, and that is banana handstand. So first of all, we have to know what does it mean. Simply, it means that your handstand is not in a perfect line, and we should fix it because otherwise you put a lot of stress on your lower back as well as on the wrists. So in that case, if you want to perform it correctly, you must make sure that you maintain the hollow body position. So simply squeeze your core, squeeze your abs, and also maintain the posterior pelvic tilt. If it goes anterior, you're going to end up with the banana handstand. And also another mistake that people do is that they simply put their scapula into the depression while it should be in an elevation. So we want to press as much as you can with your hands. And right now Mattia is going to present you the exercises to improve your banana handstand and also introduce you into the hollow body position.
Let's go. Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you 2 different exercises, are both isometrics, that are going to help you to understand how to get a proper line. So first of all, you want to use the assistance of the wall, firstly with your back facing the wall, and only after some time belly to the wall. So the first one is going to look like that. Just maintain the position with the shoulders elevated. Try also to keep your legs straight as much as you can. After a while, and I mean that you got like 60 seconds of hold, you go into a walk on the wall, so to get belly to the wall. So in this case, you have to be already strong enough to hold the position with your shoulders, and at the beginning you can be here with the aim to get your hands closer to the wall, maintaining the straight line as much as you can.
Another mistake when it comes to the handstand is not elevating your shoulders. So you want to make sure that your shoulders are elevated, you press much into the air instead of depress, because in that way, when performing handstand, you're going to not get a perfect line between your wrist and the shoulder, and that will lead you to sort of the lean handstand and put a lot of stress on your wrists. So to fix it, we have to find out the reason, because there might be multiple reasons, and the first one is simply lack of mobility of your shoulders. In a minute I'm going to show you a test. You're going to test it. If needed, you're going to implement the stretching and mobility exercises, because if you got a good mobility, there is no need to improve it. Later on, another reason for that is simply kind of mental block and not really focusing on elevating the shoulders. In that case, it will be easier for you to fix it, and you'll get it within the shorter period of time. A lot of people when performing handstand are simply afraid of falling behind them. So because of that, they decide to lean too much forward, to depress their scapulas. So in that case, they always fall on this side. Okay guys, right now I'm going to show you the mobility test with Mattia. So simply to test if your shoulders are mobile enough, you're going to stand as close to the wall as you can with your heels, and then make sure that you attach your lower back, so to maintain the posterior pelvic tilt to the wall all the time. And from that position, you're going to lower your hands and then slowly start to raise your hands. Make sure that the lower back is all the time attached. If you're able to achieve the perfect line in your shoulders, it means you're mobile enough. However, if your range of motion ends, for example, here, it seems that you need to include some stretching exercises and mobility that I'm going to explain you in a minute. Make sure that you do not compensate here by getting your lower back off the wall, because it's incorrect. So guys, right now let's move to the mobility and stretching exercises. The muscles that the most commonly will be needed to stretch and limit your shoulder mobility are your chest, your lats, and also the triceps. So right now I'm going to show you a few exercises for each muscle group that you can implement into your stretching routine. Okay guys, but what if your shoulder mobility is good and you still tend to depress your shoulders? Simply focus on pressing them already and putting into elevation before kicking. So you don't want to have it depressed, you want to press here and then do the kick out. And if you're the person that is scared of falling behind you, you should learn how to bail out from the handstand. So simply you want to use sort of cartwheel position. So whenever you feel like you're going to fall there into this direction, you want to put your hand here and go on a side. So it will look like this. And this is how to bail out from the handstand.
Okay guys, so now is the time to focus on another very important mistake that is likely to happen often. That is the power that you use to kick out. This is the first problem when you try to get into a handstand. So here the problem is that maybe you are scared not to use enough power to elevate your legs, and so you use too much power and you end up indeed falling behind, like Darek said before. So this is the first problem. Second problem is the distance between your hands and your feet while kicking out. So that's another important aspect to cover. And last but not least, the alignment of the legs while kicking out. So often it happens that indeed one leg might be straight and reaching that line you are looking for, but the other one somehow remains bent or in any way doesn't align. So this is another element that takes you away from reaching and holding the perfect handstand. So now we are gonna take a look to which are the exercises you can adapt in order to correct these main mistakes. Okay guys, so talking about kickouts, a very common mistake that at the same time might help you to understand if you are using too much power while doing that is using once again the assistance of the wall. Why is that? In order to understand, when you hit too much with too much power the wall with your heels while kicking out, it means indeed that you must reduce that power. So if it happens something like that, for instance, it means that indeed you use too much power, as you heard. So from this same position you want to try to focus on lowering this movement. Do not be scared, just focus on the elements we talked before. So make sure to align the legs and at the same time use the wall if you need. In this way, as you noticed, I didn't hit the wall that strong as before, but at the same time I was able also to control that kick out and find the perfect line eventually. So keep in mind to focus on these elements. And another very important aspect is the fact that once you will get more familiar with the power to use to kick out, still use the wall, but just for a second, and eventually you will be able to kick out without using the wall. So ending up performing the full handstand, being far from the wall, not that much, but still doing a free handstand. Okay guys, so I have another very important and useful tip for you, and it regards the fact to consider which way to start in order to get to the handstand. Either you have to perform wall handstand, for instance, rather than kickouts. So for beginners, my suggestion is to start with hands on the floor already. So in this way, you can better focus on the distance of your feet from your hands, like we said, and also the thing regarding the power you have to use in order to kick out. Only later on, once you start to feel that you get balance better than the beginning, then you can consider starting from a standing position, because here it will become very important to know where you want to place your hands in order to perform the kick out and get eventually into the handstand. So remember always to use the proper balance and consider the proper power of your legs in order to kick out. In this way, I assure you, you will be able to follow the path that will take you without having gaps in between.
Another mistake and a short tip that I have for you is that whenever you're performing the handstand and you tend to fall behind you, as Mattia mentioned you before, you're going to implement the wall assisted attempts. However, here it is also very important to focus on, when kicking, maintaining the posterior pelvic tilt and make sure that your leg is aligned, because otherwise if you lose the control, you're going to fall behind you. So instead of performing the kick out in the anterior pelvic tilt like this and falling behind you, you want to make sure that from the beginning you control your pelvis and you want to go slowly into the handstand position. Last but not least mistake we prepared for you regards the programming and actually how you train it. A lot of people don't really pay attention to training the handstand, and they implement the handstand practice in the middle of your workouts. So whenever it comes to the handstand, you must be fresh with every attempt, so you should perform it in the beginning of your workout or even on separated days.
Yes, that's the reason why most of the people, they simply try to get into handstand attempts without thinking that maybe there might be some lags, some gaps prior to that. So my suggestion is that you should focus on programming a little bit better the path that will lead you to the handstand. Hence, if you don't have enough mobility on your shoulders, focus on that, and only after maybe focus on, for instance, the posterior pelvic tilt. Then compose the two things and eventually move forward for the following exercises.
Exactly, as Mattia mentioned, and what I can add is also that the very effective method is to simply start recording yourself during the workout so you can see and analyze if you've been able to improve or not. And one more thing, another is that whenever it comes to handstand, a lot of people do too much attempts in a row. You should make sure that you're fresh, so do not rush. It's not the exercise that must get you hypertrophy. You have to work in only few attempts. You must feel fresh and perform it with the enough rest time. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed the first video with Mattia, and we hope that you found it useful for you. Also, if you want to learn handstand, make sure to check our tutorial on the YouTube and also download the free handstand ebook.
And yes, I must thank you, Darek, for hosting me. It was awesome to be here, and this was the first of many meetings that we are planning to have in the upcoming months. And so guys, stay tuned, because there's a lot of high content and quality coming up, so keep following us.
That was it for today's video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Peace.